So how are you?
We're all ready to go.
Yeah,
all ready to go. Okay, so so we've got Simon's quiz coming up in. I think we'll start the quiz in about 20 minutes, if that's okay, Simon.
Yeah, I can hang on till then.
Yeah,
Get
so
your
in the
pens and
meantime,
pencils and papers ready.
In the meantime, we'll go over to Andy for any space news.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we'll go over to Dave because Dave's got a list of things that we were going to talk about.
Off.
Yeah.
Okay, between the gang of us. Well, yesterday in the news, if I recall, we had a Chinese launch and it's putting a space station up there.
Yeah.
Starting to build a space station. So a bit of competition with the ISS and, what's going on with the Chinese? Are the Chinese not involved with the ISS at all?
They're banned. They're not allowed to.
So I picked up on that. Why are they banned? What happened?
I don't actually know the details behind it. But I know the Americans were strongly anti.
Yeah, they are, because the Chinese are forming more and more allegiances with Russia. At the moment, they're talking about building a moon base between them and things like that. So it's a Cold War starting all over again.
No, we don't want that. We don't want Cold Wars. We've been through them.
No. So yeah.
I think it was because they were just so far behind, and they hadn't actually had an astronaut in space yet.
Yeah.
No. They are a new up and coming force. As you said, they've just launched their new first module for the space station, and I think there's 3 more to follow, which will be connected to it, and that'll be their sort of like space lab. So, and of course, the Russians are pulling out of the ISS, International Space Station, when the sort of like contract comes to an end.
That's as early as 2026, isn't it, Daz?
Yeah, it's a little way off yet. But they're citing that it's degradation of the station and all that. But there's a suspicion they're the ones who've been poking the holes in it. But we won't push that too far.
Allegedly, have they admitted to it?
Yes, no proof, no fingerprints have been taken yet. So, but yeah, it's all change up there. They were originally planned to join in the Artemis program, but again, politics got in the way and they withdrew from that. Yes, the Chinese are an up and coming space nation. So
they've signed an agreement to build a space station around the moon with Russia.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just saying.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
No, it's okay. If you don't pay attention, then you'll be sent out of the room.
I've got a note from my mother saying I'm a complete idiot. Does that help?
Yeah, we believe that one.
He's exempt. It's okay. Mum's note, so he's.
Oh, Keith sounds like a Dalek.
Keith is turning slowly into a Dalek.
What the hell was that?
I think Keith was saying exterminate.
Yeah, we can hear a Dalek.
Bit of a Dalek.
Sound like a Dalek.
Stavros in it. Stavros.
Okay. Don't turn it off, Keith. It's brilliant.
No, Keith, can you answer the questions in the style of a Dalek? That's brilliant. Hey.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm trying to think of questions that a Dalek could answer.
You have to answer it as a Dalek through the medium of interpretive dance.
Keith, question number 1. Who is the Dalek's enemy?
He's
Just
disappeared altogether.
Keith, just say the Doctor.
I think he switched his mic off so he can.
That's a shame, because that would have been fun. I've got Derek asking them to do a pirate. Keith's just doing some maintenance. Let's fight on everyone. Where's the Dalek sorts his microphone out?
Right. So what else we got in the news today?
Well, the other thing about TNH is that they've actually got 3 astronauts ready, almost on the pad to actually go up to that first module. Yeah. So first module up, check it out. If all systems go up, they're going to send 3 astronauts up to it. Oh, sorry, Taikonauts.
No, that's it.
Yeah. So they really, you talk to them up and coming. They're racing.
They're there, They're sprinting. Yeah,
they are indeed. So
are we going to see some divide here? They're not going to be working together as It'd be nice if Planet Earth worked together as a team rather than having this bit of a communist group going on, and a bit of the democracy going on the other side. I thought we were all getting together in space and science, and it was all getting better. And
it was.
I think they watched Gravity, and there were 2 space stations in Gravity, so they're just trying to make sure that gravity's correct.
It comes true, yeah. So,
well, I'd like to know what was this object on the recent launch of the docking, the ISS. What was the object that passed within 20 miles or so of the craft, where the astronauts had to get their spacesuits on in case of an emergency? They didn't actually call it a collision; they called it a conjunction, which is an interesting way of saying it's pretty close and might hit us. But it's called a conjunction, and I've not heard anything in the news what they think it could be. It's just obviously an orbital object.
I don't think they've identified it, David. Just a random bit of space debris. I mean, I'm sure they're trying now because obviously it was completely unexpected. So, but I don't think
not the infamous Black Knight satellite that's been going around for eons.
Do you mean the thermal blanket that was discarded during the end of the Apollo era that's still up there? That's what it's been identified with. If anybody follows this ridiculous conspiracy theory of the Black Knight satellite, it's a thermal blanket.
Was this off Skylab? Was it the thermal blanket?
Yeah.
Because obviously Skylab had problems, didn't they? They put a big shroud over it.
Yeah, they had a problem. Yeah. What the solar panels didn't deploy.
Davros has gone back to the human side again. Sorry, Keith.
I'd say one of the solar panels didn't deploy correctly on Skylab, and in fact, actually, the way they solved it, and there was a copy of the equipment that they took up down at Johnson Space Center, and there's essentially a tree lopping pole because there was a cable trapped round the solar panel, and they couldn't reach it without extending this pole out and cutting it. That's a tree lopper. I'm not joking. It looked exactly like a tree lopper.
I'm sure you're right.
And they got it in a case in Building 2 at Johnson Space Center. By the way, for those who don't know, there was a Black Knight rocket which was built by the British.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
1971. Put a satellite into orbit called Prospero, which is still up there but not working.
I do remember the Skylab incident with that. There was great concern that when they were doing the spacewalk to repair that, they didn't know how it was going to deploy. Basically, in effect, spring loaded, and if they were in the way at the time, they were in great danger. But they managed it, and they kept it going for a good while. I think a year or two.
The biggest triumph of Skylab was the solar observing that they did.
Oh yeah,
because it was the first time solar observing had ever been done seriously from orbit with proper instruments, and there were some amazing bits of solar observation done with Skylab. Yeah.
By the way, going back to the deterioration of the space station, I was going to remind people of a large octagonal box that was put into orbit called LDEF, Long Duration Exposure Facility, deployed by the space shuttle, and had panels of different materials on the outside. And when they collected it back after a few years in orbit, it was in a shocking state. It wasn't just the micrometeorite holes in it, but the atomic oxygen in the Earth's upper atmosphere was corroding it really badly. So what's happening in the space station doesn't surprise me at all.
Interesting thought. Because it is actually grazing the upper part of the atmosphere, isn't it? Yeah, interesting, Keith. Interesting.
So every time it grazes, as you say, the atmosphere, that's going to cause drag, which it's very slowly deorbiting. Hence, they have to then have the fuel to take it back up again and keep it at a higher altitude.
Yeah, because Perseverance has got some panels sewn on, glued onto it of materials that they're going to use for spacesuits and visors and things like that, and that's going to be studied over the time to see how that degrades, exposed to the radiation and lack of atmosphere, etc. So because these things you want to know, you don't want your sort of like stitching coming undone on your spacesuit when you're wandering, right? No.
There's a panel from LDEF, by the way, at the Space Center in Leicester, absolutely full of pinholes from micrometeorites, and each one hit with such kinetic energy that the surrounding each pinhole there is a halo of different coloured metal due to the fact it got hot.
Wow.
Oh, okay then.
I'll have to have a look at that next time I go. What if I go? Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, another launch we had was Starlink. So there's another number of the darling little dears. Yeah. We're having people pulling their hair out at the moment, and we have people.
Those of us that have got it. Yeah.
What was that scene in Star Trek, whatever it was, where Kirk goes, Khan, and he shouts something, and it's all 200 miles up. Khan actually, I think, hears him.
There was a quote.
Starlink.
There was a quote in the, I think it was on the BBC website, news website yesterday. I can't remember who it was, but it was an astronomer saying something is going to have to be done, because not only is Earth-based astronomy at risk, but even orbital astronomy is at risk.
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't Starlink apply to change their license as well? So the next layer up was going to be higher, but they've applied to bring it down lower, and that's been approved.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And
so
of course, don't forget, Jeff Bezos is did they actually launch this week the OneWeb satellites? Not Jeff Bezos, obviously, but the OneWeb launched this week, didn't they?
Yeah, there was another group went up as well. I think that's what triggered the comment on BBC.
Yeah. No, and I don't know how many satellites. I can't remember how many satellites Jeff Bezos has got planned, but it's thousands again. And a group of astronomers finally had the first meeting with a committee at the United Nations this week to urge the United Nations to do something urgently on a global level to set some standards about what's allowed to be put into orbit and what materials they're going to be made of and all the rest of it. So let's hope that does some good.
It wasn't our guest the other last week, Heidi Tiemann. She was involved in debates as regards
yes, that's right,
satellite constellations and things like that. So there is concern, and to be quite honest, I mean, at the end of the day, if they're going to send all these things up, then part of the contract should be they should retrieve some of this stuff that's already up there. To make room for it, rather than just keep adding to all this, because there's going to be an accident sometime. Something's going to happen, and as we were talking earlier, they're always talking about near misses and collisions and things like that happening. So yeah, it's something that really does need to be looked at, not just for the astronomy side, but it could end up being quite catastrophic up there. You won't be able to launch anything through it if you're not careful. You end up with just loads of debris everywhere. So
it's like all these expeditions up Everest, where as they climb, they just throw all the trash, oxygen cylinders, whatever, dead mules and Sherpas and all that.
Well, if you
occasional Sherpa. Well,
I mean, if you fall, if you basically above the what they call it, is it the death line or something like that? If you actually fall there, nobody will retrieve you. And the bodies are still up there.
Frozen.
Frozen, it's one of these things. And of course, people have then got to go and risk their lives to go and clear up all this mess. So it's just one of those things.
Okay, we're going to go over to a track now, and when we come back, hopefully we'll have our quiz by Simon. Let's see how that goes. Everyone out there, get your pens and papers ready. No cheating with Google or other search engines that may be available.
You might want to, though.
But you may want to.
Okay, so we'll be coming back with the quiz straight after this. Something they should do with the Starlink satellites. It's the Rolling Stones and paint it black.
Yes.
They tried for the night.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why I'm putting on an accent.
It's an Australian accent.
I thought he was from Wales for a minute then.
Yeah, that's a brilliant Welsh accent.
I've got 20 questions for you. 20 questions, and I split them over 4 categories. And I've tested it out, and no one got any of them. So it should be.
Well, thanks for that, Simon.
But I'm hoping Andy's going to get the maximum score if possible.
Well, if he gets one, he'll do the quiz next time.
Well, what we'll do 5 questions a track, 5 questions a track, 5 questions, the format.
Okay, all right. Shall we kick off then?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so that first category is going to be constellations. So with 5 questions on
Oh,
constellations.
that'll be difficult.
Yeah. So the first question is, in what decade did the IAU, the International Astronomical Union, agree the current 88 constellations? In what decade? I could have asked year. See, this is me being friendly. Gone for a decade.
Okay.
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 Question 2. Which constellation out of those 88 has the longest name?
Oh.
As in a one word, not a 2 word or 3
It can be 2 words. Count all the letters. As many sort of words in a constellation name. Add all the letters together, and it's the one that's longest. It's not Leo, by the way.
Oh, shucks. Simon, I'd already written that down. I'm allowed to cross it out.
Yeah.
I can't think. Oh dear.
And it'll help if you're down under.
Oh,
yes. Oh, that's where the Australian accent comes
from. Bit of a clue in the accent, eh?
Okay, so should we go on to question 3?
Right, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, actually, on that one, you might be writing stuff out to try and work out what the longest one is.
Well, that doesn't work well on the radio.
So we'll go for the next one. Question number 3. In which of the 13 constellations on the ecliptic does the sun spend the least time in?
Good question.
So the sun goes around the ecliptic once every year, and it goes through all the different constellations around it. There are 13, not 12. So which of those 13 constellations does it spend the least amount of time in?
So it just accelerates for a little bit. Right.
And the flip side, question 4, which one does it spend the most time in? When they devised these constellations, they didn't make them equal for the amount of time the sun spends going through them.
It's not very good, is it?
And here we go for question number 5. Which bright star is in the Great Square of Pegasus, but is not in the constellation of Pegasus?
Oh, John, the name of the star or...
Name of the star, please.
Name of the star, not the Greek letters.
No.
Okay.
You can. Yeah.
No.
I'll
go for the
either way, I'll accept either answer.
Okay.
So the name of the star that's in the Great Square of Pegasus, but isn't in the constellation of Pegasus.
Right. And if I get this right, this is all down to having to know what stars to align on. When you do a 2-star alignment or a 3-star alignment with a go-to telescope, you have to pick up. And this star came up and thought, what the hell's that star? And I had to look it up, and then I thought, all right, that's a handy star to remember.
Right, we'll come back after the next track. Over to the quiz. Simon, off you go with the next 5 questions, please.
Okay, this section's all about weights and measures.
Oh, what?
So question number 6. Hopefully in school you learnt the order of the planets. 8 planets, Pete. So what I'd like you to do is write down the order of the planets. You can do that, but in order of descending density. I want the most dense to the least dense. 8 planets from the most dense to the least dense.
Okay.
Rearrange the panelists in order of those who are most dense and least dense.
You can do that on Zoom. You can drag people around.
I'm the most dense. I'm at the top end for being the densest.
Shall I just log off now? Or...
Yeah. When I give the points for this, there'll be a split. If you can get 4 in a row, you'll get a point.
Oh.
Okay. You get double points if you get the full sequence, but if you get 4 in a row,
this is a hard one, actually.
You will get a point. Okay, these are toughie. Yeah.
So we've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Ceres, Jupiter.
My God.
He's off.
We're not including the asteroid belts, are we, in between?
No, just planets, please. Yeah. Okay, that's question 6.
Hang on.
Oh, you're still going. You're still going. Okay.
I've just written out the order. Give us a minute, mate. Give us a minute.
That's an interesting question, Simon.
So which one's going to hurt the most when you drop it on your foot?
Yeah.
And which one will float in your bath?
Yeah.
So what are we going for the least to the
No, from the most dense to the least.
the most down to the least?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want a clue, the rocky ones are in the first 4.
Really?
Yeah. I give the nappies clues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've lost a planet.
No, well, there's two.
Just count to the end, and we got 8.
There's 2 spare.
6, 7, 8. I've got 8 planets. I'm happy with that.
Oh, I've written 8. Yeah, that's it. That'll do.
I'm going to go on to question 7.
Yes.
And I do like these lists of things. Okay. What I'd like you to do is list the dwarf planets from the sun outwards. Okay. But here's the twist. I'll give you 1 point if you get 3 in a row right. And I'll give you 2 points if you get all 5, because there are only 5 that are officially recognised by the International Astronomical Union. So there's 5 I'm after, right? But if you just want to go for the first 3, you can give up then, and you'll get a single point.
I'm going to go for 1.
So I want you to list from the sun outwards the 5 dwarf planets.
I've managed 4.
I've got 1.
You got 1, but it's not. But it, you know, the jury's out on that one.
Well, Pete, you're politically opposed to what that could be. We can't say what it is.
I've actually put it into the answer though, just to play along.
That's okay. We believe you.
I'm hoping I get this one right, because my class are obsessed with dwarf planets and we order them all the time.
So this is.
I think I've nicked this from your classroom wall then.
I've got this right, haven't I? Big E is Sleepy Dozy.
Yeah.
Bicky, Mick and Titch. they're the dwarfs, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Snow White, she's the tall one.
I'm not obsessed with dwarf planets.
Don't make me laugh, Dave. I'm trying to think.
Kath, I've given up, love. I give up.
I think I need to.
I keep drifting out towards the Kuiper belt.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm out there in the Oort cloud. My brain's gone.
I've got to look back.
I'm still trying to wonder whether it's politically correct to say dwarf.
Well,
oh yeah, you never know.
On the radio, you don't know, do you? Somebody might complain.
Well, if Snow White's out there listening, we really are sorry. It's just a bit of humour, and we do apologise.
A rotundly challenged planet, we must say.
Yeah.
Should
we start on the asteroids, please?
I think it's probably best.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
It's question 8, actually. Question 8.
6, 7. It is 8. Sorry, yes, it is question 8. Yeah.
Come on, Sam, keep up, mate. Keep up
the point.
Well, luckily Pete's on the ball. So, question 8. On average, which planet is closest to Earth?
On average.
On average, that's the important bit. Which planet is closest to Earth?
I know that one.
Yeah, me too.
And I think I do, but I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure of my own name at the moment.
It's Brian.
Is it? Oh, thank you.
I'm Brian too.
I thought it was Esmeralda.
My wife's Brian as well. That's it. It's Monty Python, Life of Brian.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kath. It's not Brian. It's Ginny.
Ginny.
Average closer to the Earth.
If that got close, Kath would drink it to death.
Don't know what you mean,
Alice
Pete.
Cooper album. Oh no, sorry, that was Love It to Death.
Okay, question number 9. Question number 9 is, where is the centre of the observable universe? Where is the centre of the observable universe?
That's in the middle, isn't it? Where's the centre? I've never been there. That way? That way?
Derek has just texted in, can we call them midget planets?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
No, there's a difference between dwarfs and midgets. Sorry, it's only a bit technical.
That's technical.
But does that apply?
Let's not go even discuss it. Come on. It's about to go wrong.
We're still trying to find out where the centre of the universe is.
The observable universe. That's the important bit.
Yeah, the observable
universe. Yeah.
At this moment in time.
Think of
it's Pete's studio.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I am the centre of the universe.
I am the
And question
time
10
is blowing through me.
Question 10. With respect to the sun, what is the mass of Sagittarius A star?
Easy.
With respect to the sun, what is the mass of Sagittarius A star?
Well, yeah, because and it's like, and you know.
Yeah. And what I'm going to do, because I'm really fair, because it's going to have some zeros. I'm going to give a point for if you get the amount of zeros right, and I'm going to give a point if you give the number.
Well, I put a number anyway. So
just a technical point, Simon. Do we have to get the exact figure, because there is some disagreement over the exact figure?
Just the number at the front.
With the zero.
Simon's answer is the one we've got to get.
It's plus or minus 6 ounces. Anyway, we're going to move on to another track now.
11.
And it's number 11, Simon. Off you go, my man.
Question 11. I think the panel here is mostly suicidal, so I hope you're doing okay at home.
I've had a few emails in and said, TN in Japan said what?
We said something similar.
I sent the quiz for our club, and they've asked me not to do it again. So
I can live with that.
Question 11. In which country did they commence building the large Synoptic survey telescope, and following its renaming, what is it called now? So which country was the large Synoptic survey telescope commenced building?
Say that again, Simon.
The LSST.
Yeah, that's the one.
They started building at which country, and they've renamed it. So what's it called now? So what's it called now, and which country has it been built in?
The large Synoptic
survey telescope. Yeah.
Synoptic survey telescope.
If
I knew what that second S meant, I might stand a chance.
The C.
Synoptic.
Synoptic actually means sort of generally on a large scale. That's what it means. Like you do a synopsis of a piece of text or something, and you're just summarizing it. So it's that sort of.
So is it the large survey?
That's what I think. The large,
the extremely large survey telescope.
It's a very large, big one.
Yeah, the very large big one. My favourite was the one they never built. My favourite was the one they never built because they couldn't get the funding, and it was doubtful whether it would have worked anyway. The OWL, the overwhelmingly large
telescope.
Yeah, I thought that was wonderful.
When we're off air, I'll tell you the one that we had locally for an observatory in Thingwall, which is just by me, but I can't say it on there because we'll be banned and shut down for life.
Right, let's go on to question 12 quickly.
Please do.
Question 12. Which US states are the Mount Wilson Observatory and the Lowell Observatory located in? They're two different US states. So Mount Wilson is in which state? And the Lowell Observatory is in which state? So I'm after 2 states, and you're going to get a point for each.
They're in a pretty good state, actually.
The Mount Wilson and the Lowell Observatory. Which US states are they in, respectively?
Well, I've just had a stab at that.
Well, I'm going for one because our very good friend Frank, where he lives, used to visit the observatory, I think.
Where is Frank?
In that state by the telescope observatory. Trying to catch me. Frank has been in touch, and he will be joining us as soon as he can. He's got a lot of work on at the moment. And
okay, well, come back, Frank. We miss you.
Please, Frank, and he does listen into us as well, I should say. Yeah. We love you, Frank. Come and see us. Come and join us.
Okay, question 13 out of the location section is: where is the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory? Where is the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory? It's not in my fridge.
It's doing some fantastic observations. I
see. Do you get a point for Earth?
That's a little too general.
Or is it?
I'll go for the out the box answer on this one.
Okay. Here's another clue. All the answers are on Earth. Okay. Okay, so question 14. Everyone likes a bit of a rocket launch. So which countries are homes to these rocket launch centres?
Like to launch you in a rocket.
Europe's spaceport at Kourou. Which country is that in? The spaceport at Mahia.
Can you spell that?
M-A, funny shape over the top of the A, H-I-A.
What's it called?
Mahia. Which country is the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. And then the final one, oh, there's got two more, sorry. Which country is the Wallops facility? Wallops.
You're making these up.
No, I know that one. That one's real.
And
Vikram, didn't he invent the eraser? You know, he liked the company so much he bought it and all that.
And the final out of those 5 is Baikonur. Which country is Baikonur in?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll repeat those. The Europe spaceport at Kourou. We've got Mahaya. We've got the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. We've got Wallops. And we've got Baikonur. So there'll be 5 different countries.
Does anybody know, just out of interest, here's another good question for you, which you can add to your quiz if you like, Simon. Do you know how many national space agencies there are in the world?
7. Oh, that's just a guess, just a random guess there. You're not supposed to go, correct, Dave. How did you know that?
So in other words, how many countries have actually got national space agencies?
There's lots in there.
Italy, Canada.
Loads.
The answer is 76.
I was close. I had the 7.
Wow.
Yeah, you had the 7. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know about the secret one, 77. When I went, just a little, we went to Port Merion on holiday. We were having a joke with somebody that there was a Cricketith space agency with these people, and they didn't believe it. So I went back to the hotel thing. We're stopping in the room. We're stopping in. And I set up a website, the Cricketith Space Agency, and said that they launched rockets from below the swimming pool in Port Merion. And you know, and I said people could join, and we had over 400 people in a week join the Cricket Space Agency. Wanted to know news about it. I said it's the only space agency run by a small country, Wales. So,
and the symbol on the rockets is the dragon.
It was the dragon, yes. So the Cricket Space Agency. So there is 77.
Yeah, because I think Luxembourg's one of the ones that signed up to Artemis.
Although we've never.
Is that when you were a druid, Pete?
Yeah, and I took a picture of the local satellite TV shop and said that there was the headquarters. And people were believing it. People believed it.
Yeah. Well, my brother did something similar.
You have the face of an angel. Why would they not believe you?
Well, I was dressed as a monk.
Well, that's
question 15.
Out of the cloth.
Let's go on to question 15 of locations. So, what is the largest crater on Earth, and where is it?
Hang on, let's just crater. Can we just remind me? Question 15 was all these launch sites.
No, that was 14.
14 was it?
14.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've jumped a question somewhere.
So
okay,
question 15 is what is the largest crater on Earth, and where is it?
Impact or volcanic?
Impact, sorry. Largest impact crater.
Okay, we're going to go back over to a track now. Go back over, Simon. On with the quiz.
Well, I think a lot of the therapy's been alcohol-based.
It has.
But the final section, you'll be delighted to know its final, is quotes. Okay, so what I'm interested in this is who said it, and if applicable, which spacecraft were they on? Okay, I'll let you know if there's a spacecraft.
Or just what they were on, basically.
Or what they were on, yeah.
Alcohol, at least.
Okay, so we'll hopefully start with an easy one. All right, so who said this and which spacecraft were they on? Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main bus be undervolt. Who said that and what spacecraft were they on?
Right.
Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main bus, a B bus undervolt.
Okay.
Who said that? Okay. That was 16. So question 17. It meets every reasonable definition of a planet. If you showed up in the Starship Enterprise to orbit Pluto and looked out of the viewfinder, you wouldn't know what to call it but a planet. Who said that?
No idea.
No spacecraft involved. Who said that?
Yeah. And can we say what,
he's a spaceman.
Can we say what planet he was in talking about?
I actually said it's the quote. It meets every reasonable definition of a planet. If you showed up in the Starship Enterprise to orbit Pluto and looked out of the viewfinder, you wouldn't know what to call it but a planet.
Exactly. I agree with him. Good man.
Well, it's one of two people, isn't it? I'm trying to think which one's closest.
No, I didn't make the original quote.
So in that case, it must have been the other person.
It sounded like one of yours, Pete.
So we're going to go for
quickly crosses out Pete Williams.
It was made. It was made on this show.
It was.
Peter may have mentioned it once or twice,
or 3 times,
or thrice,
or a few more.
Past shows are available on Mixcloud, and you can go back and listen to them all.
Yes,
and type out what you're hearing. So yeah, that was love. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to go for question 18. Almost there. You've almost survived. Okay. It's a very sobering feeling to be up in space and realise that one's safety factor was determined by the lowest bidder on a government contract.
Yeah.
It's a very sobering feeling to be up in space and realise that one's safety factor was determined by the lowest bidder on a government contract. And this is just a person, no spacecraft, just a person.
Yeah.
And a bit of a clue. This person also said, "Fix your little problem and light this candle." Fix your little problem and light this candle. That's all the same person on question 18.
I think I know that.
Yeah.
So we've had an older quote, a more modern one, an older quote. Let's go back to go to some more modern quotes here. So we're going on to question 19 now. And the quote is, "Congratulations, SpaceX, you got the flag."
Was that an impression?
SpaceX,
Was that an impression?
You got the flag.
Is that your impression of someone?
And this is the person I'm after and their spacecraft. Congratulations, SpaceX, you got the flag. Who said that?
I was going to say at this point, I'm purposely getting them all wrong, so I don't win.
Well, it's a bit of a clue, SpaceX. Yeah.
I might still get it wrong, though. So it's not Buzz Aldrin, then. I'll cross that out.
Sorry, were they on a spacecraft at the time, this one?
I'm going to give you, there are 2 spacecraft involved. I will give you the point whether you get one or t'other.
All right.
One or t'other.
Yeah. So who said that quote and which spacecraft were they associated with?
All right.
Okay, we're going. This is the final one. So this is it. You can all breathe easy after this. Okay.
Breathe,
I doubt that very much.
This quote is actually by 3 different people. Okay, but I'm just going to read it out, and I'm only after one of the people involved and the spacecraft. So if you know all 3, great. But if you just know one, then that'll also get you the point.
Were they all talking in unison then?
Must have done.
Here we go.
Not a fine mess you got me into.
I know it.
Here
Did
we
anybody
go.
hear a bang?
Where did that come from? Get me a napkin quick. There's
Yes,
a
I
turd
know.
floating through the air. I didn't do it. It ain't one of mine. I don't think it's one of mine. Mine was a little more sticky than that. Throw that away. God almighty. This is on an official transcript.
It is absolutely true. I've heard it and I've read it, and it's been confirmed.
So any of the 3 people involved and their spacecraft. Where did that come from? Get me a napkin quick. There's a turd floating through the air. I didn't do it. It ain't one of mine. I don't think it's one of mine.
Now, you might think it's Apollo 13 because
Mine was a little more sticky than that. Throw that away. God almighty.
Yeah, NASA nearly changed the official colour of their spacesuits to brown after Apollo 13.
Right, hang on. Oh.
And that's the final one. Did you want any repeated?
No, it won't help.
It won't help.
We'll repeat them after the next track. And this is a band that I had the pleasure of actually playing some gigs with. It's the Pink Fairies and the Pigs of Uranus.
That's the joke there somewhere, but we're not going to go there. It always makes people snigger, doesn't it?
Nice two shots.
I didn't know that last one was true, so I actually went
It
out
is.
and
Yeah,
found
it
it.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I downloaded the transcript and checked it. But yeah.
Yeah, and it took a long time when one of them admitted to it. Yeah. But because the other thing was that a lot of the times they'd actually stripped naked because it gets so hot in there. They're actually stripped naked and nothing wrong.
So Simon, go away. Don't go away.
Go away, yeah.
Stay, please.
Here.
Stay here and read the answers to the quiz, please.
Yeah, so we've got
not the answers, the questions.
Yeah, to questions first. So we're going to get whiz through all the 4 sections. The first section's constellations. So the question number 1, in what decade did the International Astronomical Union agree the current 88 constellations? Question 2, which constellation has the longest name when you spell it out? Which constellation has the longest name? Question 3, in which of the 13 constellations on the ecliptic does the sun spend the most time in? And then question 4, in which of those constellations does the sun spend the least amount of time in? Sorry, I've got those the wrong way around. So question 3 is, what does it spend the least amount of time in? Question 4, what does it spend the most amount of time in?
Don't give up your day job.
This was going to be a new career. Question 5.
Sorry about that.
Which bright star is in the Great Square of Pegasus but is not in the constellation of Pegasus? The next section's weights and measures. Question 6. Write down the order of the planets in the solar system by decreasing density. So from the most dense to the least dense. Question 7. List the 5 dwarf planets moving out from the sun. Okay. Question 8. On average, which planet is closest to the Earth? Question 9. Where is the center of the observable universe? And question 10. With respect to the sun, what is the mass of Sagittarius A star? The next section we moved on to was locations. So question 11. In which country did they commence the build of the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope, and then following its renaming, what is it actually now called? Question 12. Which US states have the Mount Wilson Observatory, and in which state is the Lowell Observatory located? So 2 states for the answers there, please. 13, question 13. Where is the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory? Question 14. I'd like the countries that these spaceports are located in. Europe's spaceport Kourou, Mahia, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, Wallops, and Baikonur. And then question 15, the last in our location section, is what is the largest impact crater on Earth and where is it? The final section was on quotes. Question 16, I want the person who said it and their space vehicle. Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main B bus undervolt. Question 17, I'm just after the person. It meets every reasonable definition of a planet. If you showed up in the Starship Enterprise to orbit Pluto and looked out of the viewfinder, you wouldn't know to call it but a planet. Question 18, sorry, question 18. And I'm after just the person. It's a very sobering feeling to be up in space and realize that one's safety factor was determined by the lowest bidder on a government contract. Question 19, I'm after the person in the spacecraft. Congratulations, SpaceX, you've got the flag. And the final is any one of the crew and their spacecraft from this conversation. Where did it come from? Get me the napkin, quick. There's a turd floating through the air. I didn't do it. It ain't one of mine. I don't think it's one of mine. Mine was a little more sticky than that. Throw that away. God almighty. That's the end of the quiz.
Okay, we're going to go over to another track now, and then we'll come back to the answers. And I think this track, again, it's how we all feel. This is Gary Newman and My Name is Ruin. Feel or the answers, that is.
And here's the joke. I'm not going to.
Thank goodness for that. That saves our embarrassment.
We all got 30.
Let's go for it.
Let's go.
Ooh, question 1. Which decade were the 88 constellations agreed? The 1920s.
Yes!
Oh, no.
Yeah, but at least I got one.
Yeah, let's bear in mind some of us weren't around in the 1920s. So for those who just went hooray, obviously.
It's going for 22.
Question 2. Which constellation has the longest name? Triangulum Australis.
Oh, I went for Crux Australis.
It's got 18 letters.
Yes.
I
had to spell it 3 times. I went
The
between
next longest
16 and
have
18.
15 letters, which is Corona Australis and Pisces Austrinus.
Are these all 1-pointers, Simon?
These are all 1-pointers, so single point, single point.
Okay.
This whole 5 section has got 1 point for each.
Okay.
Question 3, in which of the 13 constellations on the ecliptic does the sun spend least time in?
This one.
It's Scorpius.
It's Scorpius. The least time.
It spends 7 days in Scorpius.
Wow.
And that constellation that no one knows, Ficus, is 18 days, over double the amount of time in a constellation that no one
How do you
seems to
pronounce
know.
it, Simon? I've always called it a fuchsias.
Yeah.
A fucus.
I do that.
Yeah.
I was once told to say, oh God,
Careful now, careful.
Careful, yeah.
Careful, think about it, please.
Off Ecus.
No. That's
but
ridiculous.
that sounded silly. So I said,
Some of you might like to check.
the answer is Scorpius for the least amount of time.
Some of you might like to check, though, the ecliptic clips through the corner of Cetus.
Yes, it does.
Question master is always right.
I did actually check that, and on my star map on Stellarium, it didn't.
I think we got to go to
because I thought it
did.
So I checked that, and the maps I checked didn't. But that could be I just checked on the wrong maps. Yeah.
You were probably looking on a Monday. Things never work on a Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
So which one does it spend the most time in? Which constellation does the sun spend the most time? It's in Virgo. A full 45 days in Virgo. Question 5. What is the bright star that's part of the Great Square of Pegasus, but not in Pegasus? Yes, Dave?
Alpheratz.
It is Alpheratz. Alpha Andromedae.
Top left-hand corner. That's the one.
I knew
go
it began
to.
with A.
I actually learned that one.
Each of those was 1 point each.
I've got 1 point up to now.
Nil point.
No.
Question 6. The list. So this is.
Here we go.
I'll give you the list and then I'll tell you how to score it. But essentially, if you just put a tick by each one that you get right, then it'll help with the scoring in the order. So. The order of planets in the solar system by decreasing density, so the most dense first, is Earth is the most dense, then Mercury, then Venus, then Mars, then Neptune, then Jupiter, then Uranus, then Saturn. If you got all of them right, that's 2 points. If you've got 4 ticks in a row, then... if you got 4 in a row, so I'll repeat it. If you get 4 in a row, you get 1 point. Okay, if you get 4 in a row, so the order is Earth, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, and Saturn. If you get
I'd like to thank Paul Fellows for helping me to get that. I was doing an astronomy course with at Cambridge, and we covered density, and I seem to have remembered it. I'm so excited.
Well done. I got 2 in a row. What is that?
That's no points. That's no points.
Nil point.
I'm with you on that one, Dave.
Thanks, Ron. Makes me feel better, mate.
Okay, question 7.
Stupid question, anyhow.
Is on the 5 dwarf planets, because there are only 5 officially that the IAU's designated. The closest to the sun is Ceres. Next one is Pluto. Next one is Haumea.
Maki and Eris, I think.
Maki and then Eris. That is.
I'd like to thank Paul Fellows again.
Well done, Mr. Fellows.
If you got all 5 and in that order, then you get 2 points. If you got 3 then you get, and in the correct order. So you could have got Ceres, Haumea, and Eris. If you got them in that order, I'm going to give you 1 point for that. Okay, so if you got three in the correct order, then you get a point. If you got all 5, you get 2 points.
And if you got 2 in the correct order,
nothing.
Never mind. It's all a laugh. It's all for fun, isn't it,
folks?
It's
all for fun.
Yeah.
It's not for charity.
Mate.
Not for charity.
Question 8. No. On average, which planet is closest to Earth? Anyone know this one? It is Mercury.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
But
I'd like to thank Paul Fellows again.
I tell you what, let's get that Mr. Fellows on and do a quiz.
That's
for
a single
us.
point.
I just happened to be doing his course,
so question 8 was just a single point for Mercury, and this next one is also a single point. Question 9: where is the centre of the observable universe?
Here.
In Liverpool.
Point.
It's actually in Liverpool, and the world and the universe revolves around us.
I did put my studio.
Yeah, that's okay. Anything that's related to you is an observable universe. So
in an answer, it's wherever you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice one. That's I've got 2 now. Hey, I feel better.
So question 10: with respect to the Sun, what is the mass of Sagittarius A star?
4 million times.
4 million times is the precise answer.
Yep.
So if you've got millions, if you've got 6 zeros, I'm going to give you a point, and if you've got a 4, I'll give you a point, and you get 2 points if you've got both of them together.
Oh, I get 2. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I've got 2 2s, but it's only 2.2, so that's never mind.
Question 11. It's another 2-pointer. Which country did they start building the LSST, and what's it now called?
It's in Chile.
The Chile one, the Vera Rubin.
It's Chile and the Vera Rubin, so 1 point for each of those.
Oh, so I get VLT was wrong then.
Oh no.
Never mind.
That is in Chile, Dave. You've got the right country.
Well, I got VLT in Chile, so you got only 1 point there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Never mind. It's worth a laugh.
Question 12 is our US states. Mount Wilson. You'll get 1 point for each. Mount Wilson is in California.
Yay!
And the Lowell Observatory,
Arizona.
1 point for each.
1 point.
Okay, so 1 point.
And the next one I'm going to be really fair with. Question 13: where is the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory?
Antarctica.
Deep down it under the ground.
It's an Amazon Scott South Pole Station base, but Antarctica is acceptable. 1 point.
Run by penguins.
I just put down deep underground.
Right.
As there are no penguins left there, they've all gone to Venus.
Yeah, of course so.
True.
Question 14: what countries are the homes to these bases? If you get all 5 right, you'll get 2 points. If you get 4 of them right, then I'll give you 1 point. Okay. So Europe's spaceport Kourou is in French Guiana.
Yay!
Mahia is a new spaceport, and it's in New Zealand.
I'm just going to go, I got it wrong anyway. Sounds like a no.
The Vikram Sarabh Space Center. Any ideas?
India.
Yep. Wallops. Where's Wallops?
Australia.
Wallops is in America.
Oh,
it's Wallops Air Force Base.
It sounds Australian.
That's why I didn't put Air Force Base. It would have given it away, so I just put Wallops.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And finally, where's Baikonur?
Kazakhstan.
It is Kazakhstan.
That's Russia, really, isn't it? Kazakhstan is part of Russia.
So if you got 4 of them right, I'll give you 1 point. If you got all 5, then you get 2 points.
Oh dear.
Question 15. What is the largest impact crater on Earth, and where is it?
Is it in South Africa, Redfort or something like that?
It is Freefort in South Africa. Freefort in South Africa. It's 300 kilometers in diameter, and it was probably an impact 2 billion years ago. And I think the South American one, that's about 120, so it's half the size.
Sorry, what about the one in Canada? There's a massive one in Canada.
Manicouagan.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Well, that's the one I put down because from space.
Yeah, that's the one I put down.
Yeah.
And there's an even bigger one, bigger than one in South Africa, that was discovered 10 minutes ago.
So that was 2 points. 1 point for Vredefort and 1 point for South Africa. So the final 5 to go through on quotations. So question 16, Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main bus, B bus undervolt. That was spoken by Jim Lovell on Apollo 13.
Yay.
He was in Odyssey at the time, but
is that
Apollo
2 points?
13. So 1 point for Jim, 1 point for Apollo 13 or Odyssey, whichever you put in. So it's
Lovely
2 points.
jubbly.
You've got them both.
Oh, okay.
If you did put Jack Swigert, he almost said the same thing. So he actually said it first, but Lovell repeated it in a full sentence. But Jim Lovell's the correct answer. So 2 points potentially there. Number 17, question 17. It meets every reasonable definition of a planet. If you showed up in the Starship Enterprise to orbit Pluto and looked out the viewfinder, you wouldn't know what to call it but a planet. Was said by Alan Stern.
Yes, of course.
Peter Williamson.
On this very show.
On this very show. So that's 1 point if you got Alan Stern. The next one is 18. It's a very sobering feeling to be up in space and realise that one's safety factor was determined by the lowest bidder on a government contract. And this
John Glenn.
John Glenn.
This person also said, "Fix your little problem and light this candle."
Mm-hmm.
Alan Shepard.
Alan Shepard.
Alan Shepard said it.
Shepard.
Number 19, which seemed to have a few people flummoxed, but it's actually the most, I think it's probably the most recent of all the quotes. Congratulations, SpaceX.
Easy.
You got the flag.
Doug Hurley.
It was Doug Hurley.
Yay!
And it was the Demo 2 mission. So he was on, his spacecraft is Endeavour, which is the spacecraft that's just docked with the ISS. It's being reused.
Do we get a point for Crew Dragon?
Crew Dragon.
So Crew Dragon's good enough. Endeavour. He actually said the quote on the ISS, so I'll also accept the ISS.
I'll put ISS
is
and
that
Dragon.
one for each, Simon?
Yeah, one for each, one for the person, one for the spacecraft. And that's with on the last space shuttle flight to the International Space Station, STS-135. They left a flag up on the space station with the challenge that an American has to, or a flight from America had to come and retrieve it. And it was the Demo 2 mission that retrieved it from American soil. And the final question, which is worth 2 points, one for any one of the crew and one for the spacecraft. Where did that come from? Get me a napkin quick. There's a turd floating through the air. I didn't do it. It ain't one of mine. I don't think it's one of mine.
Me.
Mine was a little more sticky than that. Throw that away. God almighty. Any ideas?
Tom Stafford?
Stafford, Cernan, Young.
It was Tom Stafford, Gene Cernan, and John Young, and Apollo 10. And yeah, it was in Charlie Brown. They actually said it. But
of course it was Brown.
It was.
Yet another joke.
Apollo 10, Charlie Brown. Either of those will get you there. So that's a 2-pointer.
Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to go to another track, or go to a couple of tracks, and then we'll come back with the scores on the doors. So if you've got your scores out there, email them into pete@astroradio.earth, and we'll include those in our tally, our league table. So we'll have a track by Hot Chocolate because everyone's a winner. What we've got in the way of scores, but I'm going to read out the email scores first, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead. So there was 20 questions and the maximum points was 30.
Okay, so John in California got 8.
Well done, John.
Mark in Redruth got 5.
Well done.
Jack at the South Antarctic Research Station got 5, and he has to admit to getting the one about Antarctica wrong.
Neutrinos. Those neutrinos
Good
just
effort.
passed.
Good effort.
Those neutrinos just passed right through him.
Thank you for listening.
Jill in Dublin got 7.
Hey, I feel good now. Hey, nice one, Jill.
And John, by whatever name he wants, in Iran got 11.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Serge in India got 10.
Nice.
Stefan in Moscow got 11.
Well done.
Ralph at our satellite uplink center at Garching in Germany got 11.
Okay.
Ooh.
Good scores there.
Kit in Penrith got 3.
Good.
Jim in Cardiff got 6.
Well done, Jim.
Keep going.
And Pete here in the Astro Radio studio got 15.
Whoa. Well, we've actually decided as a panel that the lowest score from the panel is going to get the next quiz because it'll incentivize them to do a brush up a bit
think
more.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I like the idea there. Go on.
I'm just disappointed that we didn't get any Bath questions or anything about Bath products for that matter, or even William Herschel. What do you think about the Herschels?
Well, bubble bath and bath bomb.
Bubble bath, yeah. Because Simon likes being in Bath.
Well, Rachel had answered the questions okay on bubble bath. She's an expert on bubble bath.
She's the Bath queen.
Yeah, Bath.
Yeah. She has at least 3 baths.
She is
3 baths in a week.
She is the Bath queen of New Orleans.
She's very clean. She's a very clean girl. Yeah.
I'm going to do a number, and if you can just raise your hand or say yay if you actually got that number or above. For this is.
Are you starting at the top, coming down?
Okay, so 20. Did anyone get 20? Gary!
Hey, well done, Gary.
Wow.
22.
22.
20 or above, did you say?
Yeah, 20 or above.
21.
21.
Whoa, Google is your friend or what?
Oh, I've got a clap on that.
My hands are free. No
Sorry, that was a joke.
Wow, that's very impressive. Well done, Gary. So 15 or above.
Yes, I got 18.
18?
17.
17?
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay, 10 and above.
Got 13. I got 13.
Oh, okay, 9. Oh, we've got Rachel and Roger have got 9. 8. Ron has got 8. Oh, does that make you the winner then, Ron?
I don't think
no,
so.
it's Dave. I haven't seen Dave yet, have I?
No.
7. 7 for Dave. We have a winner in Dave.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you said...
I tried reverse psychology. I thought... and I won't have to... why can't we get one of our listeners to put a quiz in?
That's too late now. Too late.
Okay.
You don't get out of it that
next
easy.
time around. Okay, then.
20 questions on the Beatles.
20 questions on the Beatles, eh?
Quite well on Constellations.
Name a Beatles track that involves the universe.
Across
the universe.
Peter just got it right in less than 5 seconds.
It's in me bloody Herschel. It's in me Herschel to Hawkwind talk, for God's sake.
Well, this just proves who's been listening, Pete. Obviously, no one. I've heard it 10 times.
I got it before he did.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'll do the next one. Let's see how that goes.
Hey.
Yeah. Right. What we've got about. Let's have a look. 3 minutes. We've got about 3 minutes left to have a chat. So we'll go quickly around the panel. Andy, got anything planned coming up in the week ahead astronomically?
No.
No. So that's answered that one very quickly, hasn't it? Pretty much, really. Daz.
I got nothing planned, but I managed to catch a dark spot on the sun the other day, so I'm quite chuffed with that.
You mean a sunspot?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Simon.
I've got to repair my observatory. I've got a DIY rotator that I've built for it, and I woke up one morning, walked down the end of the garden, and the dome was spinning. It'd obviously been spinning for the last 12 hours.
It's not derotating then.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I think the neighbours think I'm particularly active at night, just spinning the dome around and around and around. So I'll be fixing that this weekend.
Okay, Ron.
Nothing specifically planned, and the weather doesn't look too promising, so I'll wait for the next dark moon.
We've got 3 days of thunderstorms forecast here, so I won't be doing anything.
No, it's I don't know what it's for. I think that we're bank holiday weekend, so it'll be raining, won't it?
Right.
Keith, got anything planned?
Weather permitting, more sunspots. Comet R4 Atlas, and I'll have another look at that Nova V1405.
Kath.
Depends on the weather, but I've just looked at the forecast and it's pretty grim over the next few days.
So you'll be communing with spirits, I presume.
Yes.
Yeah.
There anybody
out? Of the gin variety.
Of the gin variety.
We've had a juniper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Juniper bush. Yes.
Gary?
Quite a bit. Well, I've been out quite a lot over the past week doing a load of lunar, did a bit of solar work. I'm off up to the Argyll and Bute Peninsula on the 6th of May.
Ooh.
To Portal
nice.
skies, so fingers crossed for good weather. You know it's going to pour down.
Yeah.
Other than that, currently working with a couple of guys programming a model that maps solar wind from the KP ratings for Aurora. So we've got a few things going on there. Other than that, trying to get me go-to upgrade onto the telescope, waiting on parts to arrive from AWR and Beacon Hill.
Oh, Beacon Hill still going, are they?
Yeah, they're actually making a bronze 10-inch worm wheel and drive for us at the moment.
Been a few years since
the wheel's been forged, so just putting the teeth on it as we speak. So waiting for that to get up, and then everything's currently being programmed and encoded by Alan, the lovely Alan Buckman at AWR.
Excellent. Rachel?
Yeah, the weather's not looking good here either, so I have a lovely stack of English books to mark that I've brought home, and probably going and picking up some more furniture for the house.
Roger?
No, I've got nothing planned at the moment. I'm just recovering from my lunar photography from earlier in the week and just going through some of those pictures, but nothing else is planned at the moment, with the forecast looking rubbish.
Right. So as I say, we got bank holiday coming up. We won't be here on Monday, and definitely won't be here on Thursday because I'm doing a talk, and I've got to look at my calendar to realise who I'm doing the talk for. I can't remember at the moment. I'm doing one tomorrow night, one Saturday night, and then I'll have a few days off to recuperate. So thank you, panel, and thank you, Simon, for doing the quiz tonight.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, Simon.
I'm amazing.
Yeah, and we look forward to Dave's quiz coming up pretty soon. And I think actually what we might do is might adopt that now. The one who gets the least has to do the next quiz. I think that's a good plan, actually.
Yeah, well, it'll encourage them to learn, won't it?
Yeah, well, it make everybody, if they don't want to do it, they got to try and at least
you try your hardest actually to win, haven't you now? Yeah.
So we're going to leave tonight. We're going to leave tonight with a track, and